Love the name, Sweetology.
Sweetology is a do-it-yourself cookie, cake, and cupcake decorating destination.
There's three different areas that Sweetology caters to. So the first is, and what kind of our bread and butter and kind of the heart of who we are, is coming in and doing your own decorating. So whether that's just dropping in and decorating naked cake, the whole store is edible. So you can use anything in the creative process to do that.
The whole store is edible. Okay, you got me at that. I am so excited because who is in front of me but not only the owner, the CEO, the big wig, Karen Newmark. And when did you start Sweetology, by the way?
I've been at this for about a decade, believe it or not. I had the idea, I want to say 2008. I opened my first store in 2014. It took me a couple years to get the first store opened as I was working through kind of the concept. And so since 2014, I've built 3 stores in St. Louis. In the beginning, with this concept, I didn't even know if people would do it. I mean, nobody in the country was doing anything like this. And what I thought I needed was kind of high disposable income families. And what ended up happening is I started taking demographic information from my guests as soon as I opened, and it became very clear to me that Sweetology was really truly for everybody, and that it was really more about the women with families kind of in their 30s, big public schools. And so that's how I then figured out where I needed to move next, which was in town and country.
When you say nothing was like it, explain what you mean by that. Because if somebody's never heard of Sweetology, I know I'll show more of the video, of course, also at the end of our interview, but exactly what was this concept that wasn't been done? How do you explain it?
So I'm a lawyer by training, and was always in the startup entrepreneurial world in St. Louis, mostly in life science and technology companies. And when I was COO of a healthcare company and had an opportunity to exit. And at that time, my kids were entering middle school, and I told my husband, I want to hit the beach, and I just want to see if I can come up with a concept that I love, that makes me happy, and to see if I could build a national brand. Mm-hmm. And so it took me a couple years to come up with the idea. As you write business plans, ultimately as painful as they are, that's the whole reason, the purpose behind them is that either the idea works itself out or you figure out that wasn't really a great idea. And I was in New York City drinking wine with a girlfriend, and she said, "How's your business coming?" And I don't know why at that moment I said, I don't know, I just want to love it. Mm-hmm. And she said, "What do you love to do?" And I said, I'm really happy when I am in my kitchen with my kids, licking fingers, being together.
I love that.
And at that moment, it was like the light bulb went off, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's a DIY cake studio." And so I couldn't get it out of my head, and I started writing the business plan, and I actually I did my due diligence, and I went around seeing if anybody was doing anything like this. And this was a decade ago. So I found one person in LA who kind of had a concept similar to this. And that's where I started. And I hired a brand firm downtown, and we worked about 18 months on developing the brand and its identity, and getting all that work done prior to opening.
Wow. It's fun. There's so many things that you said in there that just, because I'm all about uh, entrepreneurship. I think it's really, really important, definitely for females.
Mhm.
I mean, this whole thing started in March well, it started years ago for me interviewing female owned and operated businesses, but in March it was, National Women's Month. And, when you said something that really struck a chord in me because so many women, and I think it's changing, but so many women don't know how to make a business plan. I have a family of lawyers. My daughter's just become a lawyer. My dad's
Mhm.
a lawyer. My brother's a lawyer. I think that's kind of maybe set in something that as a lawyer you learn. But if you're somebody who's never done a business like that, I think it can be very daunting.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's daunting for everybody. And no, you don't learn how to write a business plan in law school.
Oh, you don't? Yeah, I just assumed you did.
No, 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 far from it. So, yeah, it is daunting. And I mean, I think for what I have found in the St. Louis ecosystem, um, people are very, very helpful, male and female business leaders. And I have been very fortunate in that because there's such the supportive ecosystem in St. Louis around entrepreneurship.
Hmm.
It was, I've had some amazing mentors along the way who kind of guided me along and helped me figure out, next steps.
Was it something that I mean, when your husband, you told your husband, you're like, okay, this is what I want to do. Was he supportive?
Well, I won the lottery on husbands. So, yes. And not only was he supportive, he has been my biggest champion through all the last, 10 years. And let me tell you, this has not been easy. I was somewhat naive, I think,
Hmm.
at how difficult this would be. I had always been in what do I want to say? Business environments, professional
Hmm.
business environments, and retail is a whole nother animal.
Mm.
Not only is retail a whole nother animal, but then a pandemic on top. It has been quite a challenge. But my husband is the guy who, whenever I look at him and I'm like, what am I doing? He's like, you're killing it. You're killing it.
Oh, I
Oh my
love
God,
that.
you're killing it. So
What does
yeah,
he do,
I
by the
want the
way?
he is the managing partner, Brian K. Layton Paisner, in St. Louis.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, that he does that and that he's allowed that. So, okay, now let's talk a little bit more. I'm very excited about this. By the way, if you go to sweetology.com, there's so many things you do. I loved there's one picture, I'll have to share it when I find it, um, of a bunch of ladies having wine,
Yeah.
my kind of night.
Right.
And that's kind of one of the events you do.
Yeah, so when we do a lot of different things. When I referred to the market research and such that we did for 18 months, what we discovered was that Sweetology did resonate between, what I like to say is between 2 and 92.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, it's really not about the cake. It's about the why. Why are we together? Why are we, making grandpa's birthday cake, or hanging out with our girlfriends, or it's a baby shower, it's a bridal shower, it's a corporate team, development kind of event. And
Hmm.
so we do all those things. And I got my liquor license way back when because I knew that grown-ups like to drink wine or have beer with their fun.
How was that? Was that just a nightmare to try and get a liquor license? Because I've heard it is.
So I think it depends. Yes, it was very competitive in Ladue. Apparently, there are a finite number of liquor licenses, and it was a little hairy for a moment, but not difficult to get it from the state.
Hmm.
And then you get it from the state, and then each of the municipalities that you have a operation in has to give you an individual liquor license. So,
I just love everything about I mean, I have to go online on my other screen just because it's so cool. But go on. I was listening. I promise. I was just looking at all the yummies.
yeah, yeah. So no, the liquor license piece wasn't hard. It's more of a just a you just got to jump through, and everybody wants their $200, and
Yeah, but you did it. So where was the third location then? And
So
when did you open that?
Yeah, so the third, so I have been honing and learning and growing kind of the concept, and narrowing it down and putting processes and things in place. With each store build out, I've done something different to test kind of the model. And so O'Fallon was a big milestone for me. I built a commercial kitchen. So prior to O'Fallon, I was outsourcing all of my baked goods and my buttercream. And it was a conscious strategic decision I made when I opened the first store, that I didn't want to be a bakery. I'm not a bakery, so why not outsource it and simplify the model? Well, then after multiple stores, it becomes very apparent that, okay, I need to now control my production and recipes and whatnot as I roll this thing across the country. So O'Fallon was a milestone in that I built a commercial kitchen and started doing my own professional baking with proprietary recipes. And it was also a milestone in that I outsourced the entire store build out to a company in Cincinnati, where we literally designed from the coat hangers to the pictures on the wall to everything, and they came in 48 hours they built out my store. So now I have a template that I can start building stores very quickly. And then I opened on March 1st and I closed on March 7th for the pandemic. So yeah, so that's kind of where we are.
How did you? Go ahead.
I was going to say, but in hindsight, it actually has been a silver lining for me, because I had always known and envisioned that e-commerce would play a role in my national brand. There are 330 million people in America who have a birthday every year. So if I could tap into, 0.1%, that would be something. What the pandemic did, it was almost like a perfect storm, because I instantly pivoted to change my platform for my website so that it was an e-commerce platform. And then I studied up on, trying to figure out Google Ads and SEO search and all of those things. And suddenly I was in a situation where I was supplying something that people were desperately looking for. And again, it's not about the cake. It was about, they were looking in isolation how to connect with people and to still have fun in their living rooms. And I started doing virtual cake camp. We've been doing cake camp here for 8 summers, but I started doing it virtually and shipping out all the materials. Corporations started finding me for holiday parties and whatever. And it got really nuts. Like I shipped out 7,000 kits in 21 days between Thanksgiving and the middle of December for companies. And they were finding me all over the country. I mean, big companies, Google, Nickelodeon, you name it. And we hosted over 100 virtual parties.
Wow.
It was crazy.
But I'm just still in awe of you that you started here and now you're just all over the country.
Yeah, we even did some international shipments.
Oh my God, that is incredible.
Yeah.
So I wanted to share just a little video, because I think I believe this is what the cake camp sweet time that you're talking about. Let's take a look. Aww. Oh, look at the faces.
Yeah. I think that somebody asked me recently, what was the thing that I missed the most over the last year,
Uh,
and it's exactly that. It's the faces, I'm in the business of making people happy. Um,
mhm.
you cannot walk into my store and not feel happy, and
Well,
it's really rewarding, and it's the thing that I've missed the most.
yeah, I think I would too. I mean, I do because I've been broadcasting out of my closet for the last since March 12th, whatever that date was,
Mhm,
and we haven't gone back yet. We're getting there, but it's
mhm.
interesting because to me, my favorite part of the job has always been meeting people, going out, doing concerts, going to anything, and just seeing people. Um, and so Billy's a little different than me. He likes to be in his studio, and he's a lot of radio people are very very shy.
Yeah,
Um, but not me. I want to get out. I love that you can actually. What did you say in the beginning about in that video? You eat your way around the whole store. It's like you're in the
right.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie.
Yeah, yeah. The vision was exactly that, to be inspired by Willy Wonka, and that everything that I bring into the store can be
Hmm.
used in the creative process. So I'm very, I just don't go and get, chocolate espresso beans. I want to get dinosaur gummies
Oh, I
because
love
there's going
it.
to be some little boy who really wants to make a dinosaur cake, and we've got to have the dinosaur gummies. So
Right.
everything in the store can be used in the inspiration of creativity around the cake decorating.
I love that. So it's been how many years now?
I opened the first one in 2014. So I'm seven, 8 years, 8 years.
So, so that you actually opened the first one, and again, how many years was it to get to that point, or how long? Because you did a lot
About
of work.
about 2 years. 2 years
Wow.
from the idea that happened in New York to April of 2014.
And to start it in the Midwest.
I
Smart.
know. Well,
Very
it's
smart.
where I live. I
It
think,
really is.
yeah, no, I mean, one of the big debates I have is, I'm ready for the next door, and I need to test another market. So,
Mhm.
lots of people say, "Oh, New York or Chicago," and I'm thinking, no, I'm thinking Nashville or Kansas City. Yeah, so I don't exactly know where.
The interesting thing that the pandemic did is it made people realize um, that actually you can work anywhere.
Hmm.
So I think that it's not going to be so much LA, New York anymore. I mean, you could be in Atlanta and do very well, I bet, which is still a
Hmm.
big city. But
Yeah.
remember, you probably knew this about I'm not originally from here. I'm actually originally from LA. But
Hmm.
one thing I learned is they always tested products here first because if it works here, it'll work just about anywhere. Not
Right.
LA or New York. So I think
Right.
you're pretty good anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, that's been the feedback when people walk into this, like, oh my God, we need one here. We need one here. I mean, and the truth is, because I'm tapping into something that is honestly a time honored tradition in America, right?
Hmm.
We celebrate birthdays, we celebrate milestones, we celebrate Christmas with Christmas cookies or Hanukkah or whatever all year
Hmm.
round. And we repeat.
How about if we just celebrate life? I
Right.
think you're gonna be extremely busy, Kara.
I hope so.
Talk about your kids and your family life.
So I've been married for 26 years. I met my
Congrats.
I met my husband in law school. We were in the same class at WashU,
Mhm,
and I have three incredible kids. I have a daughter who is 22, who is at Vanderbilt, and I have a son who is 19 at University of Colorado Boulder Business School.
mhm.
And then I still get one home. So I got a 16-year-old at home, Zach, who he's loving being the only child.
Oh, I bet he is. I bet he is. So we have kids close in age. Mine's 22 and 26. The lawyer's 26. The
Okay.
son's 22, and he's just graduating this year from Webster.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, I absolutely love love, love, love the kind of now it's on my own terms.
Right.
Um, especially as a divorcee, this would be a really cool date night thing. If I'm trying to meet, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking now I'm vaccinated. Maybe it's time to try dating
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Do you do anything like that? Because that would be a fun date.
Yeah, of course we do. Yeah. I mean, right now we've been in, back in the day, pre-COVID, we had much different hours. Now our hours are, limited from 11 till 4 until we open up fully. But we've done some really fun, Valentine date night kind of concepts. And, yeah, I mean, you come in and
Well, I was thinking more if I had done. It's funny. I had a TV show on Nickelodeon, and in the TV show, we did speed dating at a wine bar at in Webster Groves, and I thought, why not do a speed dating at Sweetology? Now that would be fun.
that would be so fun.
I'm
I
in it
love
if you
that
are.
idea.
Okay, I will get. There's plenty of people that I know we can do it.
Okay.
As soon as people, I'm thinking, I'm hoping within the next month or so,
Okay. Yeah, I
we'll
love
be able
it.
to. Don't you think that'd be cool?
I think it'd be very cool.
Because sweets are for everyone.
Sweets are for everyone.
Yeah.
And you know what we could do? We could figure out some cake competition along with it so that you're rotating. Everybody's maybe, adding to. So it's not like you're just necessarily sitting there looking at each other, but like
And
you're
being all
working on,
embarrassed.
yeah, and you're working on building a cake together, and then you rotate, and then I mean, I know one thing, we'd have a lot of laughs.
Oh my, this is actually really brilliant. And then, of course, we'd film the whole thing for YouTube.
Right.
No, I'm
Exactly.
serious. This is actually really a fun idea. I
It'd
love the
be so
idea of
fun.
rotating because the wine
Yeah.
bar thing, that whole thing, it was just, you're just sitting there staring and then, okay, switch. And it's like,
Yeah,
you're doing something and you get to know people when you're doing stuff.
exactly. Yeah. No,
Oh,
I think it's a fun idea. We should definitely try it.
all right, I'm in. I already
Okay.
know of plenty of people over the last year as we've been going back and forth, going, God, when are we going to do some kind of speed dating? Because we talked about it before the
Right.
pandemic with listeners that were interested to do it with me. And because I go, I don't want to do it alone. So,
Right. Right.
so
Oh, well,
how fun
let's
would that
totally
be?
do it. Like as
I
soon as
know.
we feel like we have enough, you know,
I
people
think we're getting
vaccinated
there.
and we
Right.
can do it in that environment or whatever, I think we should do it. That'd be hilarious.
I'm in. I'm totally in.
But yeah, you can always just drop in and, or call and order.
Is you took a leap of faith. There's people that dream about this, dream about that, but if you don't take the step and the leap and fail, you're not going to succeed. And I
Yeah.
think that it's important.
I remember the exact moment that happened for me when I was, you work through, and it was the time where money was going to be put on the line, and um, I had raised some capital, and I remember sitting in my car going, "Oh my God, what if I fail? What if I lose all this money? What if, what if, what if?" And I remember thinking to myself that I just have to step off the ledge
Mhm.
because I will always regret it if I didn't try.
Mhm.
And it was that conversation with myself, like, do I want to reflect on my life and say, God, I had a great idea once, but I was too afraid to try.
Mhm.
And I did it. And I said, you know what? The worst thing that can happen is that I don't succeed, but nobody would ever criticize me for trying. And I think, women, we often get ourselves in a box around that. And, men might be wired a little different. I'm not 100% sure, but
No, you're scientifically they are. Yeah.
yeah. And so it's harder, or we need more, we need all of our community around us to kind of give us that, you're going to land. You're just going to
Mhm.
land. And if you don't land, I've got you.
That's it. That's what it's all about. So
Right.
thank you. And sharing the sweetness of life with Sweetology.
You're
I
too
love
cute.
it. You're awesome, Kara.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you. And again, I'm serious about this speed sweet
Oh, I am too.
Speed sweet dating.
Sweet dating. Love it. Okay.
Okay.